Samsy. Alright guys, we're gonna do some more short stories on a little scooter. We got the stolen Bacillus, part 4. I think we're gonna finish this up. We got a pretty good segment today. We got about a 15-minute segment. So we should be able to wrap up this story here. Let's just talk about what we're doing for this little ride here. We're heading out of the campground, Winn Campground again. We like the Winn Campground. And up in the Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest, it's about 9,500 feet, 93, something like that. And yeah, lots of flowers, mushrooms, and afternoon storms, and no crowds. It'll never be a busy campground because there's no electricity, no dump station, none of that stuff. They got a garbage bin, and you can get some water sometimes from a spigot, but there's not a lot of it around. So bring what you need and take everything out with you. It's kind of the way to plan it. But you can see, well, it's probably the middle of the week. But still, it's, you know, the weekends, some of the big weekends like 4th of July and stuff like that will get busy, but generally it's even in the peak of summer, it'll be maybe half full on the weekends, you know, unless there's something special going on. And sometimes, you know, there's mushroom hunters converge from who knows where, but all of a sudden there's people walking everywhere looking for mushrooms and offering you mushrooms, and yeah, unless you know what you're doing, do not eat them mushrooms. Get out of the way, you dang squirrel. All right, let's get into this story. We're going with the stolen Bacillus. I promised we might get through it today, but if I keep jammering around here, we probably won't. All right, let's talk about this stolen Bacillus. So the last time when we left off, the guy had stolen it, and he had run down the street and jumped into a cab, and he took off, and a bacteriologist jumped in a cab and was following him. He was half dressed, middle of winter, and Minnie jumped in a third cab and was chasing him, and all three of them was racing down the street and causing just a heck of a ruckus. So we'll pick it up there, and here we go. He would teach them yet what it is to isolate a man. What was this familiar street? Great St. Andrew's Street, of course. How fared the chase? He craned out of the cab. The bacteriologist was scarcely 50 yards. That was bad. He would be caught and stopped yet. He felt in his pocket for money and found a half-sovereign. This he thrust up through the trap in the top of the cab into the man's face. More, he shouted, if only we get away. All right, let's take a look at this road again. Oh yeah, this is that one here. And there's the cows everywhere, of course. But yeah, this road is so washboardy. It takes, it's maybe like a mile. It takes me forever with Ronnie to get through this. Good thing I'm never in a rush. And yeah, if you're thinking you're gonna, you know, oh my God, I have to go slow on that gravel road, it's ruining my whole day, well, then you just didn't plan right in the first place. All right, so let's talk about this. I must have had to reset the camera or something there. I'm gonna take a right here, and we're gonna boogie back over to the reservation area, and we're gonna go on up into the ski hill and see what that's all about. It's a pretty drive, and it's flower season, so you know you can just see them everywhere, and who doesn't like a scooter ride in the mountains with a little bit of rain, you know? All right, so back to the story now. All right, so what the heck were we doing there? 50 yards behind him, he would be stopped. Oh, yeah, more, if only we get away. Okay, the money was snatched out of his hand. Right you are, said the cabman, and the trap slammed, and the lash lay along the glistening side of the horse. The cab swayed, and the anarchist, standing half under the trap, put his hand, containing the little glass tube, upon the apron to preserve his balance. He felt the brittle thing crack, and the broken half of it rang upon the floor of the cab. He fell back into the seat with a curse, and stared dismally at the 2 or 3 drops of moisture on the apron. He shuddered. Well, I suppose I shall be the first. Whew. Anyhow, I shall be a martyr. That's something. But it is a filthy death, nevertheless. I wonder if it hurts as much as they say. Presently, a thought occurred to him. He groped between his feet. A little drop was still in the broken end of the tube, and he drank it. And he drank that to make sure. It was better to make sure. At any rate, he would not fail. Then it dawned upon him that there was no further need to escape the bacteriologist. In Wellington Street, he told the cabman to stop, and got out. He slipped on the step, and his head felt queer. It was rapid stuff, this cholera poison. He waved his cabman out of existence, so to speak, and stood on the pavement with his arms folded upon his breast, awaiting the arrival of the bacteriologist. There was something tragic in his pose. The sense of imminent death gave him a certain dignity. He greeted his pursuer with a defiant laugh. "Viva la anarchie! You are too late, my friend. I have drunk it. The cholera is abroad." The bacteriologist, from his cab, beamed curiously at him through his spectacles. "You have drunk it. An anarchist, I see now." He was about to say something more, and then checked himself. A smile hung in the corner of his mouth. He opened the apron of the cab as if to descend, at which the anarchist waved him a dramatic farewell and strode off towards Waterloo Bridge, carefully jostling his infected body against as many people as possible. The bacteriologist was so preoccupied with the vision of him that he scarcely manifested the slightest surprise at the appearance of Minnie upon the pavement with his hat and shoes and overcoat. "Very good of you to bring my things," he said, and remained lost in contemplation of the receding figure of the anarchist. All right, let's take a look at this road. Oh yeah, we getting over to the store there on the res. Well, we got a little ways to go yet. But look at all them flowers. I guess you can't really see, a guy should get out and get off and take some pictures and every now and again, but ain't nobody want to see pictures. All right, here we go. Okay, so to speak, death gave him certain greed. Yep. Here we go. Oh, yeah, very good of you to bring my things. And he was lost in confidence at the receding figure of the anarchist. "You had better get in," he said, still staring. Minnie felt absolutely convinced now that he was mad, and directed the cabman home on her own responsibility. "Put on my shoes?" "Certainly, dear," said he, as the cab began to turn, and hid the strutting black figure, now small in the distance, from his eyes. Then suddenly something grotesque struck him, and he laughed. Then he remarked, "It is really very serious, though. You see, that man came to my house to see me, and he is an anarchist. No, don't faint, or I cannot possibly tell you the rest.
and I wanted to astonish him, not knowing he was an anarchist, and took up a cultivation of that new species of bacterium I was telling you that infest and I think caused the blue patches upon various monkeys. And like a fool, I said it was Asiatic cholera, and he ran away with it to poison the water of London. And he certainly might have made things.
Oh, here we go. See, there's the store. Now that's a nice store. They got all you need, everything you need there. And I think they even got gas every now and again. And there's a campground right here on the left. And, well, campground. There's a strip of dirt with poles at the back that I think you can plug into. The location is the deal. If you need the electricity, you know, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices, and that's just one of them. It's really not that bad. It's just a beautiful area. Of course, nobody wants to be sitting in a parking lot, but I guess if you need the electricity, there you have it. All right, so we're going to roll up the hill here. We're going to the ski hill. Look at all them flowers, and it's just beautiful up there every year. And you know, every now and again, a forest fire comes through and rejuvenates everything. If they would maybe think about a different type of forest management, might help a bit. Anyway, here we go. And he ran away with the poison to poison the water supply of London. And he certainly might have made things look blue for this civilized city. And now he has swallowed it. Of course, I cannot say what will happen, but you know, it turned that kitten blue, and the 3 puppies in patches, and the sparrow bright blue. But the bother is, I shall have all the trouble and expense of preparing some more. So that's the worst part of it. Put on my coat on this hot day? Why? Because we might meet Mrs. Jabber, my dear. Mrs. Jabber is not a drought. But why should I wear a coat on a hot day because of Mrs. Oh, very well. Ha. All right, guys, that's the end of that one. So, the guy turned himself blue, just like that. That works for me. I like it when they're quick and easy. The bad guy don't get nothing and kind of gets stuck in the ear at the same time. All right, so let's take a closer look and see what we're doing. Oh boy, we getting close. Oh yeah, there it is there. A little scooty rolling on in. The ski hill here, now what the heck is it called? I think it's Sunrise. And I keep wanting to call it Sunshine, but no, I'm going to say it's Sunrise for sure. Sunrise for sure until I look it up and it's something else. So there you go. Here we go. Nope. Let's see. Oh, Sunrise Ski Resort Greer. Yep, that's the guy. So it's, like I say, we're heading over to Sunrise Ski Resort here to check out the dirt parking lot. And, well, maybe I'll just tone it out here for a mo while we travel on in there. We got probably another 3-4 minutes, and I guess I can let you have some peace and quiet as we roll in there. It's an awfully pretty drive. So let me fade on out, and then you guys can see the massive gravel parking lot and just all at the wonder that is. So, all right, I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, guys, as promised, gravel parking lot. I think the ski here, in the summertime, they probably do zip lines. Well, I know they do. They do zip lines. You can mountain bike around and that kind of thing. It's they try to keep something to do, and it's not nearly as busy in the winter. In the wintertime, this parking lot is full all the way out to here. 2 ski hills, basically 3 ski hills in all of Arizona, so that helps. All right, let's set up this next story. We got to start a new story. The Hammer Pond Park burglary. Well, I'm going to have a heck of a time saying that a bunch of different times. All right, that's the next one. So that's all for now. And I can't wait. Sam, see. And we'll see if I can find a few seconds of Rosie. Oh, there she is. Now you go big, Rosie. All right, guys. Cheerio.